Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance, former shop Lone Star Mopars.com. Sunday afternoon, beautiful day, no wind, 70. Cleaning up after 4.5 inches from like 2 multi-day rain events here, which is pretty rare, especially this time of year. But finally got to shop vac the mode I have in the shop. I got the fan running. Apologies if you hear that, but we will make up for it with a DRPD tool haul featuring PB Swiss tools. This one's probably going to be fairly quick, and the reason for that, we'll just jump right in. This was still all grabbed like on the warehouse sale, if I'm not mistaken, and the first item is kind of a repeat offender here. Let me make sure I get the part number correct for you. It would be PB 6464, and this one's in blue. The price was $37.60. I've showcased this in great detail before, and this is simply a PB Swiss Insider. It's in their sweet translucent blue. And you're thinking like, man, I thought you had this. Well, I do. I've got some for my nephew, and what it was, I had a buddy that did some TIG welding for me. I am not at the point where I felt like I could do a part that is now obsolete without probably screwing the pooch on it and creating a big headache. So he did it, didn't charge me, and thought, hey, what's something, it's kind of somebody hard to get stuff for, probably has more tools than me, and maybe not, you know, as like exotic, you know, like worldwide, but, you know, pretty well set and everything a guy would need. So I thought, you know what, dude likes blue. This is one of those things. He could keep this at work, right, and use it there. He could put this in his car. He could put it in his truck. He could take it home and put it in the kitchen drawer. Multiple avenues there for usage. I thought, hey, it's going to look cool. He's probably never seen this, probably doesn't know it exists, and that's what I did. So just to kind of quickly recap this, I don't want to be too rough with it since it's not for me, but it comes packed with some bits. They are, of course, PB Swiss's fantastic bits. They're color-coded, which hopefully that's kind of cool to them. Just, again, something different. This isn't like I went and ran into Lowe's or Home Depot and grabbed something. It's hopefully a little higher quality and a little bit more impressive. But, basically, the way it would work, we'll leave his bits intact. Again, if you want to see this in greater detail, check out my previous videos. But you extract your bit. It is just magnetic. There's nothing crazy, no fancy hold, but it does a pretty nice job there. And again, trying to get something for someone that has a lot, the versatility of this, you could do EDC with it. Again, glove box, center console, kitchen drawer, whatever. I feel like you kind of can't go wrong with this. However, when I was recently perusing DRPD around this time, it's a relatively new tool. I think I saw it when it came out, and I was like, you know, kind of yawned and passed. And then I took a closer look at it, and I will tell you, I'm not thinking of doing what they intend to do with this, but thinking of that, thinking of like pocket EDC type stuff, it's really hard to find something. You get really bulky stuff. You get things that aren't really that robust and durable, and I'm still kind of always behind the scenes. You know, like I've got the Cobra XS stuff, you know, pliers wrench XS, those are pretty solid, even the 5-inch iterations with the handles on them. But in terms of screwdrivers, like, it's kind of hard to find something that's not like objectionable. This might be as close as it gets. You could nitpick this and say you'd want a longer shaft. You could nitpick it other places. Then you can nitpick the longer shaft or bit holder things. So there's really kind of this like happy medium that's not been achieved. And I don't know that this is going to do it, but I think these were on sale before the warehouse sale, and some of the colors were discounted more. And I went with yellow. Not my usual, but I've kind of been on a kick here where I'm like, oh, yellow's kind of cool. And it worked out well, and I think it saved me a little bit. This thing actually just about costs the same as that. Some of you are going to love this. If you didn't know about this, you're going to go buy it immediately. Others of you are like, yeah, you know, I don't know, not for me. Some of you still might be kind of thinking of my current train of thoughts where it's like, you know, you might be onto something there. So what is it? It is PB Swiss's part number, PB470. I believe it was like $33.90 or something. Again, these are going to be available basically in similar colors to the Insider. And I'm going to throw this down here. You're like, what is that? Now, some of you, since I didn't have my thumb placed right there, may know. Okay, you might recognize that. That probably tips everyone off as to what you do in your free time or as a hobby or activity or exercise even. But this is what they call their bike tool. And now that I say that and you see this hook, you're like, oh, it's a tire lever. And then now you're thinking like, whoa, hey, that is compact and slim. Yes, it is. So what we're going to do, if we take a look at the back here, what they're trying to tell us is, it's yellow, in case we didn't know, we've got the URL. Right here, they want you to click. That would be when you place this hex key. Yes, this is a hex key back into place. These are the bits that we're going to get. Looks like that's going to be our hex, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5. You know that 2, I was using that last night. Not this, obviously, but that would come in handy, actually. You get a 3 slotted, you get a number 2 Phillips, and a T25. Now, full disclosure, I am not an expert in what popular bikes have hardware-wise. You know, like if I have to adjust brakes or something, or, you know, put a seat pad on, or whatever it may be, I figure it out when it's there. This is nothing fancy. This is like stuff you can buy at Academy or a local sporting goods store. It's nothing exotic or over the top. I don't know if there's industry standards and this like covers everything from Walmart to like stuff DRPD would sell, because if you didn't know, they're actually like a bicycle store. They're just into tools as well. But where this appeals to me, it very well could wind up in the little front pack on the bike, but that is not what interested me. Okay, if it fails where I'm considering trying it, then yes, it'll probably wind up there serving its intended purpose in life. But there's something more to this, and the something more, hopefully you will follow through with me on this one, and bear with me as I try to figure out how in the world, without fingernails, to extract the tire levers. And the answer is, of course, a screwdriver. I know you're hiding here somewhere. There's the Hazette. Alright. So, I'm trying to get this piece of tape off. So, tire lever 1 out of my way. Tire lever 2. See if we can get a better look at it. Also, out of my way. So, tire levers, again, pretty simple. You're riding a trail, you're on the street, whatever you're doing, you can repair your tires, right? It's pretty simple stuff. Don't think we have to spend a lot of time in it. This stupid tape is what I've need to get rid of. So now we can take a look at this. Obviously, it might look a little bit better with the tire lever and some branding, but here we go. I'm going to assume that we extract this, and you're thinking like, okay, you got bits? But in slot number 1 right here, we have this. I'm going to extract that. And what we have here, is that magnetic? It is. So it's like a double-sided magnet. It would have to be. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I'm not going to put this on. I'm going to let the magnet do the work. So clearly you can convey that that's magnetic, right? The fitment. There you go. So it's basically this hex key plugs in, and this is here. And you're like, well, what is this? I'm going to leave these bits here from PB Swiss. I'm going to come back to the very KC tool bit of thinks that we plugged into the Insider. Watch this. What we've done is we've created a screwdriver, right? Now you got 2 choices here. You can either come in, if you've got like on a bike, you know, it would be something recessed deep where this is too short. It could be top down, or if we just really need to crank on something to tighten it and we've got the leverage, we can come in and do this. This part number, if it is available standalone, it looks like it's going to be 352281. I will attempt, probably unsuccessfully, to get that to where you can see it. Again, you see the PB Swiss, kind of, use your imagination. And then 352281 right there. That's as good as I can do for you. I don't know if that's available standalone, but hey, it is something that is there. This L key, hex key, whatever we want to call it, it is PB210.5, and assuming the serial number works, it would be 348287. So What this basically does is it turns this compact kit into a screwdriver. Again, picture whatever you're doing on your bike, right? You had a reflector come off, it's getting to be dark, you need your little dinky battery-powered LED flasher in the rear, to function, so you change your battery. It's something that simple, okay? All these other bits, again, brakes, whatever you're doing, I don't know. Again, we're not going to waste time speculating there. But what I do want to do is speculate about this, all right? Let's say you're thinking like, okay, I'm old school SAE. I do not need a 2mm hex. I don't need a 2.5. I don't need any of those hexes. Punch those things out. Fill this with the bits you use. Maybe it's a Phillips 1, maybe it's a Phillips 0, maybe it's a Phillips 3. You can put bits, and case in point, we'll go back to our KC tool bit of things, and we're going to plug it in right there, and you note it fit like a glove. This will fit standard bits. You could go to set from Mac or Proto, you could go to Snap-on bits, you can do whatever you want. If you get them stuck and you can't extract them or they're a little tight, you can conveniently push up through the bottom. But what I want you to think of with this is keeping this in your pocket. Now, to holster this, the L key is going to do two things. It's going to be held in place by this clip and this kind of just catch-all, but it's also then going to be a bridge, if you will, a gate kind of that will keep the bits from coming out. Obviously, they're not going to come out the bottom, if you can see there, but they will come out the top. It's probably going to get looser over time. Currently, it's a good fit. But your safety net, your gate, your valve, whatever you want to call it, is going to be this L key, and it will allow us to do that. So, what this has done, if I can get it into place there, you do really have to click that. Hopefully you heard that. There's like a little extra slack, and that's the latch. That's not going anywhere, all right? So this can fit in your pocket just like this can fit in your pocket. Now, if you make note, this is shorter. This is also much thinner, obvious by the height here. If I get this up in my hand for you, kind of on a closer scale, you could probably stack 3 of these things and equal the height that we have in the Insider. Now, would I rather turn the Insider? Yes. Does it hold more bits? Yes. Would it be way more enjoyable to use? Yes. But if you're trying to go absolute minimalist, right? If this is just a just-in-case thing, this would sort of be like, yeah, I'm going to use that. This would be, well, if something goes wrong, I'll have it. This is thin. This is... I wouldn't say it's significantly lighter. It is lighter, in my opinion. But this is a viable option there. Now, obviously, if you're into biking, this might be the bee's knees. If you didn't know about this, this would make a great gift. This is something people usually don't ride alone. You're usually like in a club or have some friends or something. It would be a great gift if people aren't upper echelon, keeping up with the tooling or something. Maybe if you go to a bike shop, that you pick stuff up from, if they don't have these, maybe they want to start selling them. I think they would come like the Insider, probably like a counter display. There's lots of possibilities here, but I, again, am thinking of the EDC route. And, again, I don't know if that's going to be good, if it's going to be bad, but it is certainly a possibility here. We'll just kind of fumble around here. This thing, though, literally, I took apart a little work light, and it would have been nice to have because the throat, this is actually quite a bit longer than what I was using, and that would have gotten me into a hole where I had to go switch and grab a Vera L key. So this, again, if you're thinking double magnets don't work, well, again, think of them being offset a little or something in between them. That's why you've got both sides functioning. So... yeah, I am sure some of you have this or have seen it, and what I want to know from you, how do you like it? What are you doing with it? Is it working well? Let's see if we can punch this thing in. Yeah, it's just that final little deal. Let me get this out. We'll slot that in, and then right now this will fall out, right? So listen close. That's it. You need to listen for the click, just like the little leaflet sticker thing told us. The tire levers, kind of a nice touch, especially being that compact. I will say those things are on there. Like, they were kind of a pain to get off. I'm sure if I looked and studied it better, it would probably be a little easier. But we got them off, no issues. Again, a little slotted deal would come in handy. You could easily pull that and grab the slotted and then kind of pry on these if you needed to. And I'm sure if you're desperate or have fingernails or something else to work with, it wouldn't be an issue at all. So it looks like they kind of slide into place easier. I don't know that I care to take the time to figure it out right now. This is just kind of an experimental buy, right? I'm kind of thinking, hey, would that work in my pocket? Now, is it an ideal screwdriver? Again, absolutely not. Here's the problem, though. Do I want to run around with a Stavilla 3K in my pocket? You could. You know, what kind of pockets? You got cargo pants or something? But what's the issue? This is not an interchangeable blade. This is a number 2 Phillips. Inevitably, what that means when you have an issue where you need to turn a screw, tighten it, loosen it, service something, it's probably going to be a fastener that is not a number 2 Phillips, right? That is where something like this comes in handy, where you've got lots of bit options. Well, not a lot, really. You've got basically, what, 2, 4, and then nut drivers. But again, look at that. That's kind of bulky and cumbersome in your pocket. Lots of things are out there on the market, but again, finding something that's truly like EDC worthy, something where you don't have a giant. I could do some really cool stuff with what we have, right? But I'd have a wad like this that I have to stuff in my pocket, and then guess what happens? I need to get some keys out, and well, you know, let me pull out half a tool chest here real quick. There has to be something that can accomplish what you need to do, and you will, unfortunately, have to make sacrifices. Again, I would rather have just a litany of full standard standalone drivers, but alas, we can't do that. Something else you could do, if you found a similar driver like that, you could take one of these Tic Tac packs, and you can just fill that up with bits. It wouldn't be easy, right, to dump them all out, and you'd probably get the last bit that you actually wanted to be at the bottom. But it's an option, right? You know, that's literally like Tic Tacs. So lots and lots of options, lots of possibilities. And this might be something, if you like PB Swiss, if you've got a ton of their bits, if this you found wasn't happy for you, like, you know, living in your pants, pocket carry, maybe this would be. Now again, I would much rather have this at my disposal than this, but at the same time, if you're going bare minimum there, you've got an option. So what I want to know from you is, if you were aware of the PB Swiss bike tool, what do you think of it? Have you used it a long time? Are you using it specifically for its intended purpose with your bike? If so, are you loving it? Have you sold one to all your buddies, given away a ton of them? Did you find it to be lacking in some front? Again, I can't answer those questions. It's just not something I've got the seat time with on a bike. You know, I don't usually have problems. I'm not doing over-the-road stuff. I'd kind of be more into mountain biking anyway. I just don't get time, right? So some of you will have probably had this for a while, picked it up as soon as it came out. What are your long-term thoughts? Where does this rank? Is there something better? Is it near the top but lacks a little bit, but for the price or for the compactness, you're overlooking it and it's rated number 1? Similarly, if you're that guy that said, hey, okay, you know, that thing looks small, I'm buying it, and you bought it, and you use this for EDC, tell people, again, if you're a tech, you're not going to have this as your primary deal. But let's say that you're just running errands, you know, and is this something you would throw along with your Cobras in your pocket? It could be. Again, very slim, very compact, not the most enjoyable thing to use for anything tedious or cumbersome, but for a quick fix type of a deal, comes in handy. You could have this in your pocket, you could run over to your sister's house, your niece's toy is dead, boom, you pull this out, you can take the battery door off, you don't have to go fumbling through their trash tools from Wally World. It paid for itself, right? You're the impressive uncle like you're supposed to be. I just got this, just opened it. I don't have seat time with it. I'm just speculating, and I do think it has potential there. Again, seeing it right beside that, I mean, this is pretty much the bee's knees in my opinion, but let me know. Also, EDC. You've probably gone this route. Are you using it? Is it what you found to be the best? Is there something better? Is it VIA? Are you using an Ultra Driver? Do you just cram it down, or some massive Klein with a rubber chunk overmold? Like, what have you found to be the best everyday carry? And again, I'm limiting this to pocket carry. I'm not talking about, you know, you take a small selection of tools with you in a box, bag, a bucket, whatever. I mean, like, on you at all times. I've got a knife, I've got pliers, screwdriver. Kind of been an issue. What are you doing that you found? How does it compare to this? Do you think, I know some of you are super big EDC, if you weren't aware of this, do you think this would be worth carrying? Or is it just so limited, or going to be so cumbersome and unenjoyable to use? You'd say no, the space savings, the weight, ignore those attributes. You got to go with something more standardized. That's where you come in. That's where you leave your thoughts. But again, I'm going to play around with this thing. It is super cool. Again, it is available in other colors. Yellow, especially translucent yellow, you're either a fan or you're not. My thoughts were, if this did wind up with the bikes and I ever dropped it, which I'm sure I would do, it's going to be easier to find as long as I'm on a trail, right? On the street, asphalt, pavement, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Grass here, oftentimes African Bermuda, which is more of a weed than a grass, but guess what? It's yellow. This could blend in. I would hope that it would kind of catch some light and reflect. But in terms of trails, caliche, dirt, red dirt, if you're down in the canyon, whatever it might be, I think that would stand out. The blue, the green, yeah, I think they'd look cooler, but I think this would stand out pretty good. And I thought even low light situations, early morning, dusk type of things, similar deal. It's kind of like high vis in your toolbox. It's, you know, not for everyone, but hey, you realize that there's your expensive snap-on ratchet you're about to shut under the hood of Ms. Johnson's 98 Cavalier, right? So that's all I got for you. I do hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to see this sweet thing in greater detail, we've covered it already. I don't want to, you know, delve too much into that thing. The way things go for me, I'd be showing you the bits and I'd breaks, you know, like the holster or something. So far, the ones I've got have held up fine. I haven't had them very long. I can't really like, ooh, hey, this is the most durable thing ever. They're good, and that's where they're at right now. They haven't disappointed me. They haven't fallen apart, and that's usually what things do. Screwdriver related that go in your pocket, they disappoint you because they turn out to be not durable, particularly the bit caddies. One thing leads to another. But yeah, that one's a gift. This one is just to kind of test out, play around with. And again, if you've got experience with either or the EDC routes, by all means leave your thoughts and expertise down below. Real world opinions are quite valuable. With that said, though, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you do that, you ring the bell, you jump your charger across the creek, you drop your PB Swiss bike tool, you come running back to the creek, and you find it because you picked yellow. YouTube just might notify you we got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, thanks so much for watching. If this wasn't up your alley, I promise the next one will be. If I would have combined them, it would have been like super long, and sometimes people like that, sometimes they don't, but these seem to go together really well, and the video I'm about to record goes together very well. So on that front, thanks again. I'll catch you back for more from the shop.